Street, Joshua City here with Slavin from Boxing Haven. How's it going, everyone? Glad you're tuning in, all that stuff. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of boxing action, a lot of this stuff in the world in general that is going on. How you been over there in Norway, Slavin?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. You know me.
Are you still getting snow?
No, not right now. We are there's almost no snow left here, actually. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right, good
pretty.
to go. Yeah, we were expected to get some here today, but nothing happened. So we may be done with it. We may be done with snow for the year here as well, at least
uh,
in
you,
DC.
you can hope, anyway.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah,
it's not quite like the snow you get there though. But
yeah, yeah,
so that's one thing. But yeah, a whole lot going on. We got
yeah,
Ukraine has a lot of issues right now with Russia having invaded and all that stuff. Of course, there are a number of top level Ukrainian boxers who are some of the best in the world. It's an unfortunate situation. And as a matter of fact, you even have the Klitschko's who are involved as well.
yeah,
So yeah, that's a pretty crazy situation, man.
yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty unbelievable that this can happen. I mean,
Yeah,
well, people were expecting some sort of, armed kind of conflict, but not something in this scale. Of course, this is crazy. Yeah,
yeah, it is. So yeah, we're yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Definitely rooting for the Ukrainians to pull through to be able to do their thing. Nobody's a fan of another country coming in to take over, of course.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. But of course, we're here to talk boxing, and there was a ton of it that went down here over the last week or so. So even dating before that, as a matter of fact, I think when we last were on discussing it, it was back in the early or the later part of January. It might have been. So a lot has
Yeah,
happened, but of course, the big fight this past weekend was Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. So we had Scotland versus I forget exactly where Catterall is from.
England. Well,
England. Okay, so he's England. So
he's
and
from
it
the Manchester area. Yeah,
okay, okay, cool. Manchester. All right, good stuff. Yeah, Catterall came in at 26-0. Of course, Joshua Taylor came in at 18-0, and the undisputed 140-pound champion. And he also left as the undisputed 140-pound champion, though I know that there are a number of people who disagree with that. Were you able to catch it?
not live, but
Okay.
somebody did kind of put out a link to that fight, so I was able to watch it. But
Whatever
yeah.
works, as long as it's on video.
Yeah, exactly. You when you live here in Norway, some videos are not available. Sadly,
Oh
there are
yeah.
such stupid rules when it comes to that. You cannot watch it because it's not available in your country.
Oh yeah.
But
They'll
yeah,
black out some things, I'd imagine.
yeah. I mean that was really a pure robbery. I mean, no question about that. And yeah, I don't see how this could happen. Even, I mean, I did expect it, like it's in Scotland and Josh Taylor is like a god there, for the
Yeah.
boxing, they're only superstar, and so I knew it would be tough for Catterall to get a decision there, but I figured if he won at least 8 rounds, he could have maybe, but that even that wasn't enough. I mean, he surely did win like 8 rounds,
Yeah.
or yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. It definitely is one of those stains that seems to
Yeah,
follow boxing around. No matter what takes place, nothing seems to change in that regard. There's always bad decisions, and I guess you can say this was right there in the mix of that because of the fact that it did look like Catterall was controlling things for the bulk of the fight. I actually came in midway through because I had been watching the entire card, but I was in my car when that fight came on, and and I didn't even know that it had delayed because of my signal or something. So I came in and put it on the television, and they were already at like round five or whatever. But
Mhm.
when I tuned in from that point, Josh Taylor looked like he had been taking a ton of punishment, you know. And I was
Yeah,
thinking to myself, oh, I wasn't expecting this because, of course, I've seen Catterall. I think he's a solid fighter, but I hadn't seen anything that made me think he was going to go in
yeah,
there and do what he did to Josh Taylor. And you know how they say when you're in a champion's hometown or whatever, you need to really beat the champion to become the champion and take the titles. And I felt like
yeah,
Catterall, hey, he laid it all on the line, and you could legitimately say he did beat the champion, and he deserved a nod there. He scored the only knockdown of the fight, and he kept catching
yeah,
Josh Taylor with all types of lefts over the top. And Taylor seemed to have not much of an answer, though he did come on a little bit late. I just think it's sort of a stain when you have these fighters putting so much on the line and then it's taken away by some bad judging. And the
yeah.
athletic commission seemingly do nothing about this bad judging.
Hmm. Yeah, and you know, I'm a really a big Josh Taylor fan actually. So this was a huge,
Yeah.
both a shock and disappointment to me because also after the fight he was like, "Oh yeah, I won this fight." No, you know, there was no controversy. And but you don't see he's got a big mouse under his eye, and like
Yeah.
he's also a little bit bruised up. So
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the other side, you know, like, come on, do you really look like the winner? Do you feel like the winner? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it was good of
Yeah.
him to bounce back, but it was a little too late. It was too late, of course, when he did bounce back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and you know that Taylor he gets rough and tumble in there because when he's going at it, and especially in them later rounds, got it a little bit rough and you know his head. I know there was some headbutting going on. Not
yeah,
that it was intentional. I think it was more so just reckless. But you
mm,
know Taylor, he's the type that he's going to be game throughout. But yeah, it is unfortunate that with with Catterall, this is the biggest stage for him, and
yeah,
usually guys show up in that spot, the same spot that he's in, and they don't really put out as far as performance, and the moment is too big for him. But he had what you can consider star making qualities in the way he went about boxing Josh Taylor, and hopefully we get
yeah,
to see him again. It would be ideal. I agree with Andre Ward, who said after the broadcast that hey, they should run it back if Taylor remains at 140 pounds, which I think we're
yeah,
both in agreement that he probably should at this point because going up to take on a Terrence Crawford coming off of this fight, I don't
yeah.
think that many people are going to give him much of a chance.
No, I don't know really if he should stay. I mean, what I do agree is that he should not go on and take on Bud Crawford, like right in his next fight. But I don't know if this is actually partly to blame for him having problems making the weight. You know, since he's such a big junior welterweight. You know, it's possible. I would say definitely it's possible. But also there maybe is just a matter of Catterall's style being all wrong for him, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah, like when you are already the champion, you have won all the belts. It's not the same kind of hunger, and for Catterall it was pretty, you know, different because he was the challenger, you know, like the new guy, like trying to win all those
yeah,
belts, and he had all the hunger and all the all the motivation to win. So you
yeah,
know,
indeed.
yeah,
Yeah, and you know, and I will say that the title fight had been delayed. I think it was because of COVID or something had delayed it. I'm sure that affects things somewhat, but it was the case
yeah,
for both of them. And I know that in the case of Taylor, you know, of course, that had him out of the ring for a good period. He's done well thus far, having only this was his 19th fight, and
yeah,
yeah, he's done a lot in those 19 fights. So you have to wonder how he continued to look moving forward because he was eating a lot of shots, which he's eaten shots before, but I just
Mm,
don't know that that bodes well at 147 pounds where the punches
yeah,
are harder and the guys are bigger.
yeah, that's true. I mean, he has shown that he can take a punch. Yeah, I think definitely, but that is at 140, and I mean, he hasn't fought maybe that many big punches. He fought Prograis, but that was
Yeah.
Prograis was not really looking good that night. So and
Hmm.
yeah, I mean maybe even Ramirez is not. I wouldn't call him a really big puncher anyway.
No, 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 he's not. He
So
usually does good with breaking fighters down with his body work.
yeah, so he's like a typical swarmer or a
Hmm.
pressure fighter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good to
so
go.
yeah.
And speaking of Ramirez, I know he's going to be bouncing back to fight Jose Pedraza in what I
Hmm,
think should be a pretty good fight, and it's going to
yeah,
be it's going to have implications for both as far as whoever wins. I think that elevates them. I favor Ramirez since he's
yeah, me
not.
too.
I think they probably have close to the same amount of fights. As a matter of fact, Ramirez might have
Yeah,
more if I recall. But it just feels like Pedraza's been in some very tough ones. He actually has a pretty decent resume, and
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how he holds up, Pedraza. But he has looked good over the last several years, despite the loss to Tank Davis and Lomachenko. I still think that
mm,
Pedraza is a very game fighter. So I think
yeah,
big things for the winner of this, regardless. They'll be right back in that mix for a championship title.
yeah. Definitely, I like Pedraza as a fighter, and he actually has. I checked a little more actually fights than Ramirez. He's like
Okay.
29, 3 and 1, I believe, something like that. And Ramirez
Okay.
is
Cool.
26 and 1. So yeah. But
Okay.
anyway,
Cool.
yeah, they are pretty. I mean, Pedraza is 3 years older, but that's not such a big, I guess, difference.
Yeah.
He's 32. He's not 35. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in that age, it's not really a big factor. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight, and I do favor Ramirez because simply he looks like maybe the fresher guy, less damage,
Yeah.
less mileage on him, and yeah, but it will be a good, I believe, a close fight, a
Oh
competitive
yeah.
fight. Yeah,
Good to go. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think yeah, this is a good one, a good matchup across the board. So definitely looking forward to it. And
yeah,
of course, I wonder if you saw it, but there's a Gary Antoine Russell who's out of
oh yeah,
this area here, out of Maryland. He took on Victor
Postol,
Vic
yeah,
Postol, and it turned out to be a good fight at moments and all of that stuff. I feel that Russell was definitely the aggressor, and Postol he really didn't. He landed a few decent shots, but for the majority of the fight, I would say that he was kind of on the back foot, and really just trying to avoid some things that
yeah,
were pretty big and aggressive coming from
mm,
Russell. But I think it was a decent showing and a very good win for Russell, even with Postol being 38. I still think that
yeah,
he's a solid fighter and fundamentally sound. So he did good in terms of what he was able to do to him. And of course, it ended up being a stoppage there in the 12th round. I think that was a little bit early. I thought a few of the shots got through on Postol, but I think he still could have kind of hung in there or whatnot. But I guess you can't really argue that, hey, it would have made a difference overall because he was pretty much losing the fight regardless of the outcome there at the end. What are your thoughts
yeah.
on that?
Well, I think I don't really know why Postol is still fighting because I don't think he has anything left to prove or to win. And at 38, as you said,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be easy getting a win over any kind of solid fighter. I mean, let alone a really elite level fighter. So he's tall. Of course, he's got that height, very tall for that
Yeah.
welter division. I think this was in the welter division, was it? Yeah.
Was it?
Or
Maybe it was. I need to
he
double
was a
check.
junior welter before. That's why I know, but maybe he's not.
Okay,
Yeah. So anyway,
you might be right. You might be right. I was thinking 140, but I think that I was just thinking that just based on what I've known Pistol to fight at. But it could have been 140.
yeah,
I'm gonna check. But yeah, I agree with you that I think that Postol's had a pretty decent career. You know, he was able to get a
yeah,
title. The dilemma that he's in at this point, if he tried to continue, that it's probably going to be very hard, nearly impossible for him to get a title again. Since he
yeah.
lost it to Terrence Crawford. So
Mm,
he would just be fighting, at least trying to get there, or he would just be fighting to be fighting, it being his
yeah,
trade and him wanting to make money. But I just don't think that at this stage he'll be able to get another title at any point
mm,
because the competition has increased for 140 pounds, I would say, since he last had a title. And I think he was a part of that as it was ushering in with these new fighters and everything.
yeah,
But yeah, he's gotten back there on the backside of 30 now, which always makes it tough.
yeah. Definitely. I think he really should retire now, and especially I mean, he's got stopped, even if it may have been premature. But I think he has never been stopped before. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was. I was really most surprised when he managed to stop Matisse, but that was, I guess, because Matisse was so ruined already.
oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I do think that. Yeah, Batiste. Yeah, he had. When you're one of those offensive fighters who are
yeah,
really, you're known to be in the trenches and all of that stuff. Eventually,
yeah,
that stuff wears you down a little bit
taking
quicker than
shots. Yeah,
guys that are not going through that sort of damage and temperament.
yeah. Because Postal never really showed that he has got any kind of real power, before that.
No,
So it was, I guess, the matter of Matisse getting taking too many shots, and eventually just succumbing to to.
yeah,
It was in the
yeah,
10th round. That's what I know. I remember. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and I looked here, and you had a fight between Russell and Pistol. It was at 140, and yeah, it was a 10 rounder. I may have mentioned 12, but it was a 10 rounder. So he got a 10th round
Oh
TKO
yeah.
on paper, though,
Yeah.
Posto likely could have held on. But it was going to be a wide decision loss, I believe,
Yeah.
regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. That's just sad,
So,
I
yeah,
guess. But I guess that will make. I hope that will make him retire. Realize that it's time. Really time to retire now. I
yeah, yeah, indeed.
really hate to see fighters fighting, far past their prime, or past their prime anyway, too long. That's the worst
Yeah,
thing for me. I mean, yeah,
especially if you're at a championship level and you become the stepping stone for younger fighters coming up,
yeah, yeah. I think that's why sometimes they're like there are some promoters who may like tempt them with cash and just to make them stay. So there are new like hopes or new prospects should have somebody, to be their stepping stone and stuff like that. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
slowly happens. Yeah,
Indeed, yeah, it was
yeah.
one of those things. So we'll see what's in store for Posto. Another big fight, which just so happened to be yesterday, that rare Sunday fight. And I'm cool if we see more fights on odd days. If there were one every day of the week, I think I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because I like the sport like that. But
Mm.
Lawrence Okolie took on C Slack. I don't even know how to
Chess,
fully pronounce
chess lock, chess lock.
Chesslock.
Yeah,
Chesslock. All right. This was a Polish fighter who came in with one loss. This was at Cruiserweight. Lawrence Okolie, of course, 17-0. He has at least one of the belts. What belt does he have? WBO. So
yeah,
it ended up being a very sloppy fight as we were chatting as the fight went on. But they somehow went all 12 rounds through all of that mess. It was a tough for the referee and everyone watching as well. But
yeah.
but Lawrence Okolie defends his WBO title. What were your thoughts on the overall fight and how Okolie looked?
There was plenty of job for a referee to say that first. For I don't think he worked as hard as any other ever, But yeah, I mean, Okoli, I guess sometimes, I mean, usually when he fails to stop, I mean, he didn't look bad. It's not like that he really. But
Hmm.
I guess he hasn't really been past the eighth round many times, And whenever he has
Oh yeah.
been, he hasn't been able to, I think, stop his man to put him away. So I think
Hmm.
it's like he usually scores his knockouts within 6 or 7 rounds. He's had a
Oh
few.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean most are either in the fifth, sixth, or the seventh. So he's a little, but that's understandable because he's so tall. He's so, it's not so easy for those guys to be very like how do you say flexible or yeah. I mean
Yeah.
to be very very accurate. With always their punches. And he has such long arms. So even though
Hmm.
that's an advantage, but still. But also it was Cheslak's fault because he kept holding, clinching, and hitting behind the head, and
Yeah, he
he
did do a lot of
he
that.
made that fight very ugly. I mean, it was first and foremost his fault. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement with
unfortunately,
you.
he's a tough guy, so he couldn't go. He wouldn't be put away. I mean, Okolie put him down once, and he had a few other good punches, good moments, but he was just a strong, tough guy. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, and I agree with what you're mentioning as well. Yeah, I think with some of those tall and long guys, depending on who they're going up against or whatever, they can tend to get in these situations where they're doing a lot of reaching and
yeah,
lunging, and it looks a bit sloppy and crazy at times, which I think was the case here with this guy. And Okolie, I think I know there was talk of him going to heavyweight. I thought it was going to be sooner as far as how the chatter was going not too long ago, but I think this kind of may pump the brakes on trying to make that jump so quickly because there are a
yeah,
lot of bigger guys who are there at heavyweight who are going to make it even tougher if you get into one of these in the trenches type of fights that he was in here.
yeah. And he would need to put on some more muscle because you see, he's not really. I mean, he's in good shape, but he's not
Mhm.
doesn't have so much muscle mass, because
Yeah.
he used to be the funny thing. He used to be overweight, but then
Hmm.
he started boxing to lose that weight, and then he was inspired by Anthony Joshua, and he won the Olympic gold, and that made
Oh
him
yeah,
become a boxer and stuff
that's
like
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I recall. I do recall he had that story of him going and fighting in the Olympics and all that stuff. That is pretty
yeah,
cool. That he was
but
inspired.
I don't think he's really heavyweight material. He doesn't look like it to me, anyway.
Yeah,
I
I get what you're saying because some of these guys, even though they're tall and long, that doesn't
yeah.
necessarily mean their frame is built for what comes at heavyweight.
Hmm.
Now, I think he would have to go about it in a way similar to that of Alexander Usyk, who I think has somehow through his work and nutrition and all that stuff packed on that extra bit of muscle in a great manner as far as that
yeah,
works for him up there. But that being said, him and Okolie have two different body styles. Just thinking
yeah,
about it, they're probably close around the same height, but yeah, they're just two different body styles if you just look at them physically.
yeah. I
So
mean,
it'll be interesting how he works to get to heavyweight. You know.
yeah, because that's what most cruiserweight champions they aspire to, compete at heavyweight. So, but that
Hmm.
doesn't really go well so often. I mean, it hasn't. It worked for Holyfield, and
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think who else. Well, Usyk, of course, now, but I
Hmm.
mean, most others have failed. I think as
Michael
heavyweights.
Moore, did he make a stop at cruiserweight, or did he just go from
No,
light heavyweight?
he
He
went
just went to
straight from
light.
light heavyweight. Yeah, but
That's a pretty interesting one right there.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's that's true. Yeah, that was.
he had a decent run, but you know he did end up kind of once you know some of those bigger guys ended up getting to him there
Yeah,
eventually. You know he couldn't hold up there with that type of
particular,
punishment.
particularly one old, big old guy by the
Oh
name of
yeah, yeah,
George.
yeah,
George.
yeah. Vic George,
Boom.
and then David Tua, I believe,
Oh
made quick work
yeah,
of
in
him.
30 seconds, that was quite a destruction.
Yeah, pretty quick
Yeah,
work of him there. Yeah, so yeah, so you do definitely have to be weary of that. I think that
yeah,
Okolie he would definitely probably not want to get in some of those little rough and tumble scraps where he's taking some shots.
yeah,
I think he's shown well thus far, but I don't recall ever seeing him taking anything major as far as getting hit with something that had him hurt and having to go through some form
mhm.
of sort of a struggle or whatever it may be to try and get his senses back and all that stuff. So it'll
Yeah,
be
that's
interesting
true.
how he takes those shots, you know, at heavyweight.
Yeah, he hasn't really been in like in deep waters. Still, I mean, yet. I know that
Yeah.
I didn't watch that fight with Matty Askin, but people said that was also a very ugly, very ugly
Oh
fight.
yeah.
So that was the first one he had, I believe. And yeah, I think it's also a little bit about him when he faces guys that are about his height or almost, because Askin is
Oh
six
yeah.
four and Chesla is 6'3", so they are
Okay.
not so so much shorter. So he seems to be having some problems with guys who are about his size, because the guys he knocked out, that guy Glovatsky is only 6 feet tall, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Christoph Slovatsky.
And the other guy that he last beat, knocked out, Prashovich from Montenegro. I think he's a little taller, but he came in scared, and that was really obvious. He fought scared and didn't really make
Yeah.
a true effort, and just wanted to get
Yeah.
out of there as quickly as possible and get his check. Yeah,
Yeah, that tends to happen. Well, yeah, I do think that there are a lot of options, even if not a lot, there are a few pretty good options for a Coley at cruiserweight to
yeah,
really test him. Marius Britas being
yeah,
one, and that I know that was at least discussed, but I think that as time goes on and on, I would like to see it while Britas is still kind of fresh and still on top of his game because he's 37 now, so the sooner the
yeah.
better, I would say.
He is getting on in age, yeah, and he was there when Okolie fought last night, and
Okay.
he was dressed as Mario, Super Mario. Did you see that?
Oh, I did. I didn't know what the deal was with that.
But I
I
think
didn't know
it's
that was British.
yeah, I think it's because of his first name is Myris, and that sounds like a little like Mario to some people. And
Okay.
I think Jake Paul had called him Mario Bridis instead of Myris, so that's why they
Okay.
pull that joke stunt.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I noticed I caught a glimpse of someone dressed as Mario, but I didn't know it was Breedis, so I didn't
yeah,
think anything of it.
it
That's funny.
was him. Yeah, but I think yeah, that's a really good fight for Okolie. Even though I don't know really, I think Breedis will. I would actually still favor Breedis because he is the superior
Yeah,
boxer. I think technically he's better than Okolie, and he's not
yeah, I
so
agree.
long and awkward, and kind of slow, and yeah. So I think he
Yeah,
would
I agree.
beat Okolie to the punch. Maybe he would not stop him, but he would win. I think most likely. So, but
Yeah,
we shall
yeah,
see. Hopefully, we shall see that soon. Enough.
yeah, I agree with you because yeah, if I take a look at how each has looked, in their best fights and all that stuff. Of course, Breedis, yeah, he's top notch. His only loss being to Alexander Usyk, and that was very close in itself. And
Yeah,
we've seen
I had
Usyk has
him. I had him winning actually that fight. I believe. I don't remember by how much, but it was close. But I thought he won that fight. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know that I scored it, but yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I remember it being very, very close, and it was a good fight.
Yeah.
The cruiserweight tournaments that have taken place in that World Boxing Super Series have been sort of the highlights. They've been
Yeah.
great. And the bantamweight one, I believe it
Was some really
was
great
was
fights, like Dorticos versus Garcia. Also, that was
oh yeah,
amazing fight with an amazing finish. Last round
yeah,
knockout. Wow.
two big punchers, heavy-handed guys going
Yeah.
at it. Wow. So I was looking back here I went to the ratings. I went to the ring ratings to see who had the belts now, and of course, uh, Breedis is the ring champion, and he has the IBF, and it looks like Makabu has
Yeah.
the
Macau.
WBC. That's who Canelo was going to fight.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so then, of course, Okolie has a WBO. So WBO, WBC, IBF. So that leaves the WBA. So who has the WBA title? Let
I
me see.
think
Or is it
just a
vacant?
second. I know. Well, I think
Makes me wonder.
Dorticos held that title, but not anymore. Probably. I
Yeah, I
think
wonder if it's vacant then.
he recently lost it. Maybe let's see. Oh no, that was the IBF. Sorry, but he did hold it before. He lost it to
Yeah.
Garcia.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So right now, yeah, I can't tell who has the WBA. Maybe it's vacant.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was the guy that was supposed to fight Gulamirian, but he didn't fight. So now I think he stripped Arsen
oh, okay.
Gulamirian. Yeah, he held that, but that's now I think a vacant title. So nobody's
Okay.
going.
Okay. So all right. So yeah, we'll see what that does. I know that I think that Dorticos is still a real player out there. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, looking at sort of how Makabu, we'll see what he does. He's been a
Hmm.
long time mainstay there.
Yeah, Makabu is
Yeah,
always dangerous because of his power. Maybe not
yeah,
such a good, like he's not so fast and all that stuff, but he's really a big puncher, that's for sure. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Interesting. So yeah, we'll see what is in store for the cruiserweight. But yeah. In the meantime, hey, we'll see what Okolie does moving ahead.
yeah,
Um, Another highlight of that card was Jordan Gill
yeah.
getting a knockout over Gif Gerfi. I don't know if I'm
Karim,
saying it. Karim
Karim,
Girfi.
Gerfi, yeah, or Guerfi, whatever.
Girfi uh, of France, and it was an action fight. A lot of shots thrown,
The
and
best
just when
fight.
you least expect it, and what makes boxing so great, a shocker comes out of nowhere
Boom.
because looked like he was on his last leg, and then he somehow mustered up a big right hand that
Yeah, it was
sent
right.
Gearfrey out and down. I just think good showing on this zone card.
Yeah, it was a lot of good action and back and forth, and Gil, I think, yeah, he hurt Garfi in in the fifth round, and Garfi came back in the sixth and put him down in the seventh, and then just as he was, it looked like he was, gonna stop Gil, of course, soon at least, if not in
Hmm.
the then Gil just pulls off that amazing knockout, and yeah, I was kind of
Yeah,
happy for Gil because he was fighting at home, and I just think he looks kind of sympathetic to me anyway. So
yeah.
yeah,
No, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, he definitely provided a lesson in how to try and recover from being dazed
yeah,
and really almost out on your feet. So hey, it was miraculous in the sense of how he came back because for 2 rounds there, it just looked like he was just bludgeoned to punishment.
yeah.
But
It
he
was.
pulled it off. So props for him. And now he has an early knockout of the year candidate under his belt.
Yeah, he does for sure. This reminds me of that fight when also an English fight, but I can't remember what was the name of that guy. He scored a knockout in the very last seconds, and he was really behind. That was
Oh
like
yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but
Hmm.
this
Yeah,
is,
I don't recall.
this was definitely the best fight on this card. So much better than
Oh
the
yeah.
main one.
Yeah, so I actually only caught that one, the main event, and some of Anthony Fowler's fight, who got
Yeah,
back in the win
me
column
too.
coming off of that loss to Liam Smith.
Smith, yeah, yeah. I did
Yeah,
catch
yeah,
some
Liam
of
Smith.
that, but not the whole fight. Anyway, it looked
Yeah,
alright, pretty good. Yeah,
yeah. And I thought he would. I actually picked him to win against Liam Smith when they fought, but I was very wrong, as a matter of fact. So Liam Smith
yeah,
still has the goods. So
yeah.
we'll move on. I think he's supposed to fight Jesse Vargas at some point.
Wow. Well,
At least
Jesse
that was in the
Vargas certainly.
discussions
Yeah, he's like,
at 154, and I don't know if Vargas
oh
has fought at
yeah,
154.
he's like a dark horse, I guess. Sometimes I think people expected him to win and he loses. Then they didn't expect him. I think it was against Saddam Ali. He even pulled
Oh
off
yeah,
a knockout victory there. It was like, wow, what's going
yeah.
on?
That's been the highlight of his career thus far because he's
Yeah,
come up just short in all of the other big fights he's had.
yeah,
Just short. I think he's a solid fighter. It'll be interesting to see how he looks at 154. He's been fighting less as
yeah.
of late, so who knows? You
Something.
know.
Yeah, the sound was cut off for a moment.
Oh, okay. Could have
Yeah,
been a temporary signal thing. You can hear me now?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good to go.
So I
But
think, yeah, I think Vargas is one of those guys. They have the talent, the tools, but they don't rise to the occasion. Exactly. So that's why they
yeah.
lose some fights they could have won. I think they just lack that little,
Hmm.
extra, the spirit
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think he does a good job as a commentator, so maybe that's something he gets more
yeah,
into as he continues to go on.
yeah.
So we'll
He's
see
got
though.
the looks and everything to work on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Then I know that and I know you saw this, Fabio Wardley got a win
Oh yeah.
against someone with the last name March from
Mars. I
can't
think
tell what that flag is.
Daniel
Maybe that's the
Mars.
US actually.
Yeah. Or Canada, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's American. I don't know. It
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
matter.
he's a yeah, I think he's American. Of course, Wardley, they have high hopes for him. They've been slowly building him
Yeah.
up. We'll see when that true step up fight comes about. Might be around that time. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I hope. I think it's about time for him because he's really been destroying these guys.
Yeah.
There are just subpar opponents for him, and tomato cans to
Mm.
be a little mean. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's got the speed. That's the best thing. I mean, there are
Hmm.
many others at heavyweight who can punch, but he can punch and has that speed and everything, and the whole coordination, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he has yeah, speed, decent size. I guess more
yeah.
so closer to the sort of
He's like,
Alexander Usyk end, but
yeah,
you know,
big
not
enough,
too
but
big.
not
Yeah,
too heavy. That's what I like about him. He's
yeah,
6'5", but he's not like really massive. That kind of
yeah,
fight.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, he can still move. I think that's what
Yeah,
helped Usyk as well. When he packed on some weight, he didn't take away his ability to move.
yeah,
I think
definitely.
that helps.
Yeah, that's very important. I think some maybe underestimate that at heavyweight because they think, oh, you just have
Hmm.
to be really big and strong and be able to take punches and to hit well. But that's not all about that, of
Yeah,
course.
that is true. Now I didn't catch this fight, but I see that Campbell Hatton is got
Oh,
TKO. Did
really?
you see that?
No, no. But
Oh, he got a
that's funny. I
TKO.
was just looking at his record the other day,
That might
and
have been his first knockout win. What do you think? Or stoppage win? Was it?
oh yeah, oh yeah, that was now yesterday. No, I think he also scored in the last fight, but that was against some total bum. He scored a knockout in the
Which
second.
may very well been the case with this fighter.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. He's got like he was 9-8-2 before this fight. Joe
Yeah,
Doctor.
I would have to see how it looks, or how he looked. Of course, I know we've
Yeah,
discussed Campbell before. He's very raw. He's got that name, which is why he's getting a lot of these TV cards. But he's very, very raw. I
yeah,
don't know if he's improved since his last sort of
very.
outing or whatever. But they're matching in there with guys they know he can, or at least should beat and everything. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how he continues to develop.
Well, his dad was also brought up slowly. That's what I know. But he was like he also kind of
Yeah.
started like very like he was 19, I believe. Ricky was when he started as a pro in
Okay.
97. Yeah. So he
And so Campbell, he didn't have an amateur background, right, or something like that.
yeah, yeah, and that can. I mean, I watched his first two fights. I think live, and he looked really off
Yeah.
with his timing and everything. He got hit, but
Yeah.
fortunately
Same here.
he fought guys who didn't really have much power, to speak of. So it was. But I do remember he did get rocked pretty well in one of those fights. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I've seen like at least three of them. And yeah, they're working at it. We'll see how it excuse me, see how it goes. It's to the contrary of there's another Yafai brother who got a fifth round TKO.
yeah.
I
I
need to see
saw
his first
that.
name, but he looks pretty promising in terms of his Galal Yafai. In terms of his
Yeah,
skill set, he looks pretty promising. He was in there with a guy, of course, an opponent, but I think for a debut, he really showed that he has something, and he really went for it and did end up getting the guy out of there. He fought this Mexican guy, so
yeah. I
another
did.
Yafai brother doing his
Yeah,
thing.
well, I did see. I mean, I didn't see it from the start, but I think I watched at least the last two rounds, and that was pretty impressive. Yeah, work by that guy Galal or whatever. Galal, yeah,
Galal, yeah.
Galal. Yeah,
So, but yeah, he's good to go. Then just going down here, of course, Robeisy Ramirez, the Cuban fighter, he got a TKO 3 win, and he looked pretty good. I
that's
saw it when he got that knockout. Of course, he's another promising fighter there who, despite that little first bump in his very first fight, he's looked a lot better and fighting more aggressive and
yeah,
like a pro now since then. which just bodes him well. Uh,
Hmm.
then I don't know if you saw this one, but I was watching the Showtime card. So Chris Primetime Colbert, he took on a fighter out of the Dominican Republic, last name Garcia. I know he was both were undefeated,
Oh
and
yeah, he lost.
Colbert got really broken during that fight to the point where in the last two rounds he was basically just running away. He didn't want any contact with Garcia, and of course Colbert, a lot like Broner, is a guy with a big mouthpiece, and
Yeah.
we'll see how he handles coming back from this adversity. He seemed to take it well after the fight, and the realization that the better man won on that night. We'll see how he
Yeah.
bounces back because I know there had been chatter of him saying that he wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson, felt that he could beat him, which I never, I didn't believe that I didn't believe that
Yeah.
to be the case. Definitely not so now, but he definitely needs to continue to work on some things. And I think one of the problems is he really has no power, so he's gonna be sort of
Yeah.
dead set on outboxing his opponents. You know,
Yeah. He's got only 6 knockouts of 16 wins. Yeah. But this
yeah.
was
So his
for a WBA gold title, super featherweight title. It says.
You know how they throw those things around these days.
Yeah.
But Garcia showed that he was worthy, and basically what he did was similar to what Maidana did. He just remained aggressive throughout. And Colbert had some flashy moments, but once Garcia got to him and dropped him, that changed the dynamic of the fight. In the same way that when Broner got dropped by Maidana, that changed the complete dynamic of the fight. So
Yeah.
um, now Colbert has to go back to the drawing board because he was getting a lot of hype and he main evented this Showtime card. So we'll see
Yeah.
what he does.
He was. Yeah. Yeah. Some guys, they just when they get dropped, they just inflate. They get, and some just get, even more aggressive or yeah, bounce back. So that's the big difference. Yeah.
Now the best fight on this card was Jerwin and Cajas. He was taking on
Oh yeah.
Martinez. Let me see what this is. Fernando Martinez, this Argentine fighter. And that turned out to be a very good fight where they were throwing some bombs, especially Martinez. He was like a power
Yeah.
punching machine, and he was carrying those heavy shots through the later part of the fight as well.
That was a pretty big upset because this was the
Hmm.
tenth defense of Ancaja. So he was very
Yeah,
impressive before as a champion also.
and
So
I didn't realize he had defended his title that many times. To be honest with you,
yeah, yeah, nine
you
times.
know,
So
yeah,
yeah,
so he's been around and getting at it for a while. I think that
yeah.
he's just started to get more publicity over the last several years, but yeah, he's really been putting that work in.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I read about it. I didn't see the fight, but I will have to find it somehow because
Oh
since it's
yeah,
that good, and yeah, and
it's a worthy one. It's a worthy one, and I give Kanhas and
Ancas,
Kahas.
yeah.
I'm sitting here struggling with it now. And Kahas, I give him credit because he was in it throughout. In terms of you could see that Martinez was winning, getting the better of these heavy shots thrown, but he was catching Martinez with some big shots as well. So both
Yeah.
of them showed that they have some pretty solid chins on them. So this is probably not
Hmm.
the end of the road for Nkajas if he comes back with the right mindset.
Yeah, and both were very gracious after the fight, especially Ancas was like he was thanking Martinez and his people.
Yeah,
That was that's not something you're gonna hear very often by a guy who lost. But
yeah,
yeah, that's one of the reasons I also liked that guy because he did come across as a humble champion, and a good champion and everything. So I hope
yeah,
he bounces back well. But those are Argentinian guys. I knew that this guy could be danger for because he looked hungry, and
Yeah.
he was surely, and
Yeah,
very,
he definitely was. Hey, he
yeah,
lived up to, how one should be when they're getting their first shot of a title, and it's like, hey, this may not
yeah,
happen again, so you got to go out there and take it by any means, and
exactly,
that's the approach he took. It looked like he was going to lay it all on the line.
yeah, exactly. He was like very emotional after the fight, talking about his father and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
it came true. Yeah, he said that he was going to be a champion, and I'm sure that sort of motivated him to will his way through it as well.
yeah. So that's nice when you hear that. Like you don't want to hear a guy like boasting and saying, "Oh yeah, I knew I would win," stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
He is
yeah,
a
definitely.
nobody. I showed him. That's not good. That's not what you want to hear from a new champion.
Yeah, that would be BS as well because Enhaus, yeah, gave him a good fight for sure.
Yeah,
Now I'm realizing here now, and I didn't know this was the case, but I think this speaks on the state of the fighter. But Guillermo Rigondeaux actually fought
oh
this
yeah,
weekend.
he
I
lost
guess he was
again.
on this. Oh, he was in a Dubai card. Yeah, and I see that he lost a decision, which would have been unthinkable
Yeah,
uh, a number of years ago, him losing via decision because you would think that anytime it went to the end, he was likely going to get the decision, just given that was his prowess in terms of outboxing people,
yeah,
regardless of whether he got the knockout. But I didn't know this was actually happening, so therefore I haven't seen it. But I do think it's pretty interesting. But he's got to be what, like 42 now or something like that. So
yeah.
uh,
41. Yeah, it says here.
okay,
But
and I know
I think
he
soon
had
this year.
supreme
Yeah,
reflexes and all that stuff.
I think this year he turns 42. Yeah. So
Okay.
he was also dropped once. I see here. It says,
Oh wow.
yeah, he's fighting a Filipino fighter. Hmm.
Yeah, that and it's a interesting. It's a story of I guess a number of fighters, but here's a guy who he was one of the best in the world,
Yeah.
but he was never able to generate the type of excitement and buzz around him because he typically played it. I don't want to say just necessarily safe, but
It's just,
the entertainment
yeah.
value wasn't something that he truly cared about. And now here on the back end of his career, in some of his later fights, he seems to have started to care about it a little bit more. But that's maybe because some of the reflexes have gone and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
feel like the last couple of fights that I had saw him in were fairly decent fights. But this makes if his last fight was against Casemiro, then that's two losses in a row right there. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Casimiro.
yeah, it might be time for him to hang him up.
Yeah, I think so too, definitely. Like Postal, he's got nothing to gain from continuing to fight, and sorry, he's simply
No,
yeah
good.
out of his depth now, and uh, yeah,
Yeah, because yeah, that's definitely would be a shocker to see him just go downhill from now and continue to lose the guy. Now I don't know anything about this guy he fought, but I'm gonna just go on a limb and say that Rigondeaux was expected to win.
yeah, yeah, he was. I mean, he's still like a technical defensive genius, more or less. And what I really loved was the way he threw that jab. I remember when I watched
Oh
him.
yeah.
One of the maybe the first time I saw him fight was against that guy from what was his name, Ricardo Cordoba. Yeah, that's right,
Okay.
2010. Yeah,
Cordoba.
so way he threw that jab just did it like that was
Yeah.
very very fun to watch. Yeah.
And then he brought it into
Heat seeking.
Nonito Daenerys streak when Nonito Daenerys was at the very tip of his game, very tip top of his game.
Yeah,
Rigondeaux was able to
that
basically
was
nullify his offense.
his most impressive victory. He just really outboxed Donaire. He just gave him a boxing lesson for 11 rounds anyway. he got dropped once, but that was simply that. Yeah, he got a little unlucky or maybe careless.
Yeah, and so I yeah, just pulled up his thing. So yeah, that actually was this was supposed to be his bounce back from the Casemiro loss, and really he's so he fought once in 2020, once in 2021, and now
Yeah.
once here in February so far. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here. So yeah, I think that this might be a sign for him, and maybe this may spell that yeah, his time pretty much is up at this
Mhm.
point. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And when we are talking about Casimiro, I see now that he is scheduled to fight in April against Paul Butler.
Paul
That would
Butler, I
be,
know that name.
yeah, another defense of the WBO. I think Paul Butler was stalked by the guy that Casimiro beat to win. That guy Zolani Tete.
Tete.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I have seen that fight. I remember, but that was like a
Yeah,
few years ago. Yeah,
I knew the name was familiar. I'm like Paul Butler. I know that I've seen him. I heard of him somewhere. So yeah.
yeah. He's like, well, I guess more like a European level fighter or something. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. He fought Emmanuel Rodriguez and lost the decision to him in 2018.
yeah.
Okay.
He's a decent fighter, just not something like very
Hmm.
very
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Good to go. So yeah, Casemiro. Okay, so yeah, we'll see what goes down. I had saw
Hmm.
something about him getting a sexual assault charge or something. So I don't know if that's going to derail the fight.
Hmm.
But this is Casemiro. There was something of that nature. Story had come out. I want to say about a week ago or whatever. So I don't know where it stands now or if it has had any further developments or anything. But that is something that is definitely out there.
Well, that's kind of, yeah, that's not so good, but I,
Yeah.
I hope it's not really true, but you never know, of course.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to know, and I didn't see what the details or anything of that nature were. I just know that it was something that was out there,
Yeah.
so we'll see how it goes. And and then
Yes, it would
the,
be it would be a shame if it affected his career because he's a very exciting, very good fighter, and he's also got he's 32. He's got a few years left of his prime, I think. And, yeah,
yeah,
I
and
mean,
he's now starting to get his highest level of publicity, so it'll be
yeah,
unfortunate to lose it all before he gets that true mega fight.
yeah. I mean, you never know. It could be like some other jealous manager or promoter trying to screw him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never
yeah. You
know.
never know.
Yeah, it's so possible. It
Yeah.
does sound something like something Don King would have like cooked up, somebody like
Old
him.
Don King.
Yeah.
He managed. Don managed to get this one heavyweight. I can't think of his name, but this one heavyweight, Trevor Bryan, I think it is, managed to get him a title. Uh, and this cat, I don't think he really fought anybody, but old Don
Yeah.
King still at it.
Trevor Bryan. I think I've heard of him. Maybe I think when was that? That was
He had some version of a heavyweight title, but I don't know if it's the regular is one of those I think made up ones where they add super or other things to it.
like
You
one
know?
of those that guy Mitch Blood Green held, like something
Oh yeah,
something
old
you
Mitch.
get in Walmart when you when you have bought
Yeah,
enough. Yeah, the
so I'm looking it
champion.
up. So yeah, he has a WBA World Heavyweight title. So I think I don't know if it's the legit WBA regular title or whatever, but he has some form of a WBA title. His name's Trevor Bryan. He's 22-0, but
Is it?
in
Oh
the fights
yeah,
that I've seen,
I have. Yeah, I have already. Just a second.
so his
I
biggest
have.
win is over BJ Flores and Bermain Stavern.
Oh no,
Both of
that's
them, of
not
course,
the guy.
being pretty
Yeah.
much past it
Oh
at this
yeah,
point.
that's
Trevor
that
Bryan,
guy.
yeah, I think if he was in with a legitimate heavyweight contender, that he would likely lose, But
Yeah,
he has a belt. I think that's from Don King's workings right there.
it's amazing, some guys who holds belts are really, I mean, it's amazing who holds some belts that are considered legit, world title.
Yeah,
I'm a world
yeah,
champion. I'm like, who are you? Like, oh, I'm a world champion. Really? It's like that.
yeah. His name is not even in that mix of top heavyweights, but he somehow has a belt.
Yeah, exactly. It's why not? It's like as if somebody would have given Butterbean a belt like in the
Oh yeah,
90s. I think even he was
Mhm.
better than this guy.
Yeah, probably that would have been funny.
At least he
Um,
could punch.
yeah, yeah.
Eric Ash, yeah.
Eric Esch.
I do
Yeah, they
remember
had him in the
watching
fight
him.
night games and stuff.
Yeah, I remember watching like in those 95, 96, and yeah, he was. You don't forget him easily.
Older Larry Holmes beat him.
Yeah, that was a fun fight though.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched that not too long ago in terms of years,
Oh yeah, that
but
was
yeah, not too long ago.
2002, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it not too long ago. I hadn't seen it, but I knew of it, but probably about three years ago or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I ended up watching it. Yeah, it's pretty funny seeing
Yeah,
Larry up in there.
yeah. Butterbean, I don't think he actually has that many losses, like three, four, or something.
Nah,
Yeah,
no, he's like the king of the tough man
yeah,
type fighters, I guess you can say. 4 round king.
that's right. 77. Well, he's got 10 losses, but only two by knockout. And 77
Oh,
wins. Wow.
that's
58
crazy.
knockouts. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a novelty act, but he was pretty popular. He did some MMA stuff too. He didn't fare too
Yeah.
well.
Actually, his last fight was in 2013. Wow.
2013. Was it a loss?
Yeah, he lost to a shoulder injury. Like he had to retire. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know he did some MMA stuff. I think I saw
Oh,
one of his fights. Pretty much whenever he went down, it was going to be tough sledding for him to get up.
yeah. That's the
So it's
problem.
situations like that. But yeah, little Butterbean.
Yeah.
Now speaking of old and past due fighters, I haven't seen this card, but Khan and Brooke finally happened.
Oh, yeah.
No disrespect, no disrespect, Khan and Brooke. We're the same age, but it
Yeah.
finally happened. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you actually saw it,
No,
but
no. Sky
okay,
Sports. So I hate those. That
okay.
channel. You you
Sky
have to
Sports.
have. And I think some people wrote that they actually blocked that fight. I mean, or even at least the undercards in some
Oh yeah,
countries, and I don't know why would they
yeah.
block.
Natasha Jonas was on there.
Yeah, I don't
She
know
was
why
like,
would
I
they
guess, the
just
K
block
lane.
the undercard, because the main fight is the one they all want to see, not the undercards.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know why. So it's
But yeah,
yeah,
I did kind of expect. I predicted actually Brook to win by stoppage like
yeah,
6 7
yeah,
rounds. So that's what happened.
yeah. I would say he has more sort of left in the tank and more effort in him.
Yeah,
Khan has just been picking and choosing for the past 5 6 years, and theoretically, yeah, he probably could have retired a while ago because
yeah,
he's just kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out
yeah. And
in the worst way,
he hadn't had a fight for over 2 years, and you
Manages to still have that name.
yeah should at least have first taken a tune up, and then But that's I don't think that would have done much better for him. But anyway,
Yeah.
no, he's
So
finished.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he definitely seems to be done now, and he had a pretty decent career. I think that
yeah,
last,
140. Yeah,
yeah, the last sort of probably like 6, 7 years or whatever was, I
not
think he
so good.
squandered away a lot of
Yeah,
opportunity. Now, of course, he would have likely taken some losses to some of those top guys who could really bang. But that being said, he would have still
yeah,
been in it. But yeah, I think he squandered away those last probably like 5, 6 years or whatever, chasing names for a particular type of payday. In particular, Pacquiao, Mayweather,
yeah.
and that never
It's
happened
just
and
the
was
way
never even serious.
the way he lost that title. I don't remember which one, but he IBF for a while. I don't know. He held that at 140. He lost to
Oh
Lamont
yeah,
Peterson. I know that was very
yeah,
unlucky because I
yeah. That
think,
was in D.C.
yeah, I remember a lot of guys I had spoken to said that Khan should have won it, but uh,
hmm
I guess they were blaming Khan's people were blaming somebody in Peterson's camp of helping him somehow. I don't remember the
Oh
details.
yeah.
Details. It was like something really funny.
Yeah, there was I remember in the video of the fight, you could see this guy who was out there in the crowd or whatever get up and he goes and he's like going around the judges and all that stuff. I
Oh
believe they're
yeah,
insinuating that he had some influence on the scoring and all that stuff. But he did get a kind of got a point deducted that was controversial
yeah,
for pushing or doing
oh
something of that nature,
yeah.
which he was doing, but he didn't get a
It was
hard,
two.
stern warning prior.
It says 2 points actually for pushing
Oh, two
the
points. Wow.
seventh and the 12, and that's I think also what some people were angry over because they thought he shouldn't have gotten that other one,
Yeah, I know who that referee is. I've met him before, and
Joseph Cooper.
yeah, I've met him before. But I don't know him like that. But I have met him. I had a conversation, but not about that fight or whatever. He was telling me about
I don't actually think I've
critiquing my
seen.
stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen that fight, but I will look for it later. I want to see it because I want to score it.
But this ref, he has you would have to see a fight. I can't remember all the fights that he done, but he has this little slogan at the whenever he's there and he gets to the touch glove. He said at the end, he said, "All right, now touch gloves and throw some thunder," or something like that. But he said it in this
Oh
crazy
yeah,
way. It's funny. Touch gloves and throw some thunder.
yeah. That's like he's. Some people just have to have some get some attention
Yeah,
on them that shouldn't have
yeah.
any attention. All right.
Yeah, Cortez was I'm firm but I'm fair.
Yeah,
And Kenny Bayless is what I say you must obey.
yeah,
I remember the very first fight I officiated. I was nervous. I had the first fight. This was an amateur fight, and then the guy had the microphone because we had this commentator here in this area, and
yeah.
Discombobulating Jones is his name, and he did the little thing. So I just had to speak. I was thinking to myself, "Oh my goodness, I didn't think I was gonna have to do this," and I said my little thing, and then I said, "What I say, you must obey." All right, back to the quarters, and I was just thinking to myself, "Oh, why the heck would I say that? Like, come on, man."
Trying to like,
I heard that from
yeah.
Kenny. Like, come on, man.
Mills Lane was like, yeah, like, come on,
Oh yeah, yeah. Old Mills, Judge Mills.
yeah, he was so strong for his size, a tiny guy, but he was like, he could go between
Oh
like
yeah, he can
these
move in there too.
huge guys and just break them up like nothing. I have
Yeah, he
never,
can move well.
yeah, I've never seen a guy that size so strong. I don't think that wasn't a boxer or something, a wrestler.
Oh, looked like he actually he had 11 fights.
Wow.
I just
Well,
looked Mills up.
now
I
it's
don't know if it, yeah,
yeah.
he had 11 fights. Yeah,
Now I get it
he was
why he's so strong. He was.
He lost his first fight and then went on a 10 fight run. This was back in the '60s, so he fought from '61 to '67,
Yeah.
10-1. Wow, I didn't know that. I just looked him up randomly because I wanted to see if he was still alive, unfortunately. But yeah, he is, which is
Hmm.
good. So he's 84 years old at this point.
Wow, he's still alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
Mills Lane. I remember he
Yeah.
had a little TV show at one point, but that's been a while, I believe. That's
Really?
probably the '90s or something.
Oh
He had just
yeah.
like one of those little judge TV shows where he's in there making rulings on cases. They're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
real cases and things, but I think they have they know beforehand at least that it's or they have to agree to it,
Oh
consent to
yeah.
the whole little show thing. Like I don't know if you know of Judge Judy. You ever heard of her?
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
that's
something like that.
we had that here. It was on TV, but I don't think it's on anymore. But I never really watched it. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Now, do they wear the wigs over there in Norway? Do the judges wear those
No,
little
no.
like they do in England?
Luckily, no, no. That's just an English
Yeah,
thing. I have only
it's interesting.
been once actually to it was a trial, but they took us like I was with my school, with my class. It was like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
field trip, and they took us to the courtroom, and I remember it was a trial of some Albanian guys were accused of something, like
Okay.
yeah. So that
Interesting
was
stuff.
the only time I was, fortunately, never was there as a defendant or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That is good stuff. Yeah, I've had some calls for jury duty, but I haven't had to.
All right.
But I didn't get picked, so
All
you
right.
know, it
They
worked
didn't
out in my
think you
favor, I
were
guess.
you were credible enough.
Their loss.
Yeah.
Their loss.
Yeah. There was. You just missed out on the best jury member you
I
could
know.
have
Like what the
had.
heck.
Yeah.
But I'm looking here now, and here goes another fight that I didn't know went down because it was in Russia, and that's Jorge Linares taking a loss to some guy
That's
Abdulayev.
right.
Abdulayev. Abdulayev. It seems familiar. Abdulayev.
Yeah.
I know Akhmediev.
Yeah.
Let me
That
see.
Abdullayev. Yeah. Zaur Abdullayev. That's what
Yeah, so I didn't know Linares had stepped back in there.
the guy who lost to Devin Haney before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think another guy who needs to retire also, I think, is Linares. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, so I do know this guy, so yeah, you're right.
he got stopped in the 12th round. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Oh, he
really,
beat Zlatan Cannon.
yeah,
Remember him?
yeah, yeah,
Dejan
sure.
Zlatan.
He's
He
from,
had beat him in his previous fight.
yeah, Zlatican is like, seems to have really gone down fast after he was knocked out by Mikey Garcia.
Oh, he's from Montenegro.
Yeah,
Interesting. You didn't know that.
a neighbor of mine.
Yeah.
Shall we say
So yeah,
former?
he
Yeah.
yeah, that was 2017. Then he fought again in 2017, once in 2018, once in 2019. Didn't fight in 2020, but of course that's when the pandemic kicked off. So he
Mm.
fought and lost. So yeah, 2021. But he's scheduled to fight, lo and behold, Lewis Ritson, and it just so happens to be in Newcastle. You better watch yourself. You're gonna
Rich.
have to get a knockout.
Yeah. Yeah. He also lost to a guy called Roberto Ramirez,
Oh
TKO.
yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Roberto Ramirez.
that's
Roberto
the man.
Ramirez. I saw that loss on there. I'm trying to think of the name.
But
Roberto.
he's already 37, Latichan, so, it seems that he just was, how do you say, he got the big fights a little late. He started getting them when he was already,
Mm-hmm.
nearing the end of his prime, so.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I see 30. Oh yeah, the win over Ivan Redkach back in
Yeah,
2014 gave him his
Ricky
first loss.
Burns. I,
Oh
s-
yeah, Ricky Burns.
I
Yeah, he
saw
been
that
able to be
fight.
a
He was
decent guy.
really very impressive. He beat Burns. There's no doubt. I mean, but even even there, some guy, some idiot judge gave the fight to Burns. He was dropped and he didn't win more, I think, than 4 rounds, maybe 3 or 4 in that fight, Burns. So
Yeah, that's
that's Scottish
scandalous.
judging for you. Yeah,
Yes, that's so scandalous. Oh, he's got to win over Peter Petrov as well.
he's very fast guy, small guy, and
Hmm.
can hit. He's not a really big maybe puncher, but he can hit anyway. Has got
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he just got caught with that huge shot with Garcia.
Yeah, wow, that
He didn't
was
see that coming.
brutal.
Oof. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, so he's taking on Lewis Ritson on March 25th.
yeah, Richardson, he is full of defensive.
Has Ritson fought outside of that Newcastle?
I don't think so. Or he fought in Liverpool, I see once, and Hackney,
uh,
London. Yeah,
Interesting. But yeah, that should be an interesting one.
yeah. I think maybe that might even be a close fight, but of course Richardson will probably get it because it's in his backyard and Zlatican is 37, so
Yeah, yeah. That does make it interesting. So yeah, we shall see.
mm,
But yeah, so yeah, you have that. I did catch Jaime Munguia against Demetrius Ballard. Ballard is a guy who's out of this area here. It
all
went
right.
down, and they fought in Mexico, and
Mm,
Ballard looked pretty good the first round. I think he won the first round, but then
all right.
from
All right.
there Munguia started to take over and
He just
yeah, knocked him out.
he became Mongia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Truly, and he was not gonna go out slouching in front of his fans because it
Yeah,
was in Mexico.
that
So
was pretty impressive because he hasn't scored like an early knockout at 160 yet until now. So
yeah, yeah. And Ballard, he was relatively unproven. He was undefeated, but unproven in terms of this was like a clear step up for him. Uh, the same probably couldn't have been said for Munguia. It
yeah,
wasn't a step up for him, but it was a solid matchup. And this sets him up for, we'll see, whatever
yeah.
is on the table out there. I think he has a lot of options. I think he looked good. I think he's ready at this point, as ready as he's going to be for those big names that are out
Well,
there. So it'll be interesting to
either
see what happens.
either Demetrius Andrade or Jamal Charlo would be really good uh, opponents. I think I would love to see that those fights anyway. And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, there are always a
yeah.
few others. Mm,
Yeah, I think I'm with you. So yeah, 160. So yeah, Jamal Charlo. I think that would be very interesting.
yeah,
Munguia, he has a. Does he have a title? He has a title, or doesn't he?
he has some. It's not. It's the Intercontinental. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
so it's not a
So
real one.
now he had a real title at 154, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
WBO. Yeah, WBO. Sorry,
Okay, okay. So
WBO. I said
so yeah,
WBO. I got
double
WBO
deal.
here.
It's funny, but yeah, I think Munguia has looked pretty good, and yeah, now I think now is a better time than any. I like both of those fights with Andrade or Charlo.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's about
yeah,
time.
whichever one, kind
Yeah,
of toss up. I think Andrade has done more, of course, and he's more proven
mm.
than Charlo at 160. I would say,
Yeah, I think.
but I think I heard Andrade was moving to 168 for a fight or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's what I also read about. So, but maybe it will not be forever, like, or maybe we'll see anyway.
Yeah, I know he just wants a title shot. He wants Triple G, but I don't know if that's going to happen, especially considering Triple G
Yeah.
only fought that once last year, and that fight with Murata didn't go down. But
Uh,
maybe Andre has to do something like take that fight with Murata, see if he can lure Murata in, even if that means going over to Japan.
yeah. You know who
because
is
I think that would
actually,
help matters.
yeah, who is actually rated number one by BoxRec? It is Lara at 160. That's pretty
Oh
crazy.
wow.
Yeah. Then it's
Well, he's still
Charlo.
out there fighting, right?
Yeah. Charlo number
Yeah,
two
interesting.
and Andre number three and Mungia.
Yeah, that algorithm is crazy.
Yeah.
That
Chris
algorithm
Eubank.
is insane.
Yeah, there's also Chris Eubank Jr. and Billy Joe Saunders on the other side, on this side of the pond.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Eubank Jr. He just beat someone, right?
He beat
Oh yeah, Williams.
Liam Williams. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen that fight. I need to watch that. I'm gonna try to catch that.
me
Probably try
neither.
to catch it
Again,
today.
again, thanks to Sky Sports. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Sky freaking Sports.
Yeah, they just grab all the best fights now in the UK, almost all. But I
Yeah, I
got,
know how.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I got to watch that the Danny Jacobs John Ryder
Oh
fight.
yeah,
So that was like,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
what did you think? What did you think? Yeah, I forgot about that one. What did you
I don't
think?
know really. It was very close, hard to say who really
Yeah,
won that one. Yeah, maybe it would have been fair if it was a draw. Maybe I think so.
yeah,
More fair, but anyway, John Ryder got robbed a couple of times too, and he was fighting at home. So
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. That is true.
how it
I
goes.
don't think. Yeah, I was watching the fight. Yeah, I think it was close. I'm not, kind
Yeah,
of messed up about it either way it was going. I will say that Denny Jacobs has looked very average in his last two
yeah,
fights. So maybe he's not fully, kind of in it like that anymore. Since that
yeah. He started
Canelo
well.
fight.
Yeah, he was best clearly in the first 4 rounds, but then Ryder came on, and he landed almost all the best shots actually in that fight. That was why
Hmm.
he got the decision. I think he may have
Yeah.
not won more than 5 rounds or something, maybe six at best. But he had the best of the action simply. While, I remember Jacobs landed one good uppercut. It was in the fifth, maybe, but that was pretty much all. He
Hmm.
didn't land anything else that was really eye catching.
Yeah, and I know he slowed down in the back half, and yeah, I
Yeah,
just think that Jacob's last two fights just looks like he doesn't have the goods like that,
yeah,
and I don't think it's because he's shot. It's just probably more so maybe he's got some outside interests and things of that nature that are more appealing to him right now than being 100% dedicated to getting in the gym and doing his thing.
yeah. It's a shame because I like him as a fighter.
Yeah, yeah,
I was rooting for him against Canelo, and everything. So
yeah, yeah. And he had a decent showing of it at points, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. This one is it's one is gonna be a tough one to swallow. I guess the last
yeah,
two really because I think that for all the hype that went into his fight with Rosado, that was a letdown, probably even more so than
yeah.
this. Uh, and he barely walked away with that win.
It seems at 168 he hasn't really been able to find his rhythm, or he did beat Julio
So yeah,
Chavez Jr., but that's like
I was gonna say that's gonna be the story of his 168
yeah,
pound run is that he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
he was like already who knows
Yeah.
what he was on, coke or whatever, coked
Eh,
up, and
yeah, and the aftermath of the fight was more entertaining.
yeah, what happened? I don't know.
They the fans are mad because Julio he pretty much had a bunch of people there and
Oh yeah,
he said he didn't want to fight anymore. He
oh
kind of was like I'm
yeah.
done.
I
He
saw.
decided himself, and then they started throwing stuff in the ring, throwing stuff at
Oh
him when he
yeah,
was walking out, then throwing stuff at Jacobs and while he was doing the interview and all that stuff. It just got rowdy.
yeah,
It is because Chavez Jr. He was in there. He might have taken one really big punch or whatever, but then he
yeah.
just went back to his corner and said he was done.
He didn't do so bad at first time. I saw some
Yeah,
highlights. I think I don't see the whole, but yeah, then he was getting pummeled, and then I know his old man was like also pretty angry, like
Oh yeah,
in
yeah,
the crowd.
embarrassed. Yeah,
What's going on? Like, why are you not fighting anymore?
yeah.
It's
They
like,
showed him. You could just see the disappointment on his face. Like, oh
yeah,
my goodness,
big
not this again.
big embarrassment because he was such a great warrior. He would never have done such thing himself, And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
but father and son, they're not
Yeah,
always the same.
those differences,
Yeah,
those freaking differences. That's funny though. But yeah, yeah, another fight that was on that card with Jacobs and Ryder, which turned out to be the fight of the night for my eyes, was Felix Cash against Madayev. I don't know this Madayev's first name, but it's a Russian fighter, and it was an
yeah,
exciting one. I like Felix Cash. He got dropped, and he hurt. He was hurt. You would think he was going to be done, but he worked his way back in it, and he continued to battle back. And then he had the lead legitimately. I felt, and I want to say he may have gotten dropped again. He still won a UD, which I
yeah,
don't think it was controversial. I think he won the bulk of the rounds, but it had to be close, but yeah, it was a pretty good fight.
yeah. I don't think I saw it, but I don't know why. But I must have come late to that broadcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could have potentially been the case. And then they had this heavyweight. I don't know if you've seen him, Fisher, last name Fisher. I want to say John Fisher or something like that. He's out of UK. He's like his younger guy, but they have big things in line for him, I would say. But
what division did you say he's in?
heavyweight,
Heavyweight.
heavyweight. Yeah,
Hmm.
last name Fisher. But he fought. This is only like his I want to say third or fourth fight or something like that.
All right.
He's this big. He's a big guy, and yeah, it should be interesting to see how he continues to develop.
All right. John Fisher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody that I follow, one of my friends on Instagram, I think wrote about him, or Jack
Hmm.
Fisher, maybe I don't know. John,
Oh yeah, maybe that.
yeah.
Yeah, it may be Jack. Uh,
No, there are
then I.
many here who are called John Fisher and Jack Fisher.
Yeah, so it's one of them. It will be a low number of fights. He's out of the Britain somewhere, Great Britain.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
anyway, I'm giving up on fighting his
it's
human
gonna be
boxer.
tough. Yeah. So this other I saw that Otto Valine was actually fighting. He was on, I'm guessing, the undercard of that Eubank thing.
Hmm.
Eubank and what's his name? Eubank and Williams.
Liam Williams.
Otto Valine
Yeah,
got a 8 round points win. It's a name that was out there.
yeah,
I think he needs to. He can get himself back in the mix. He can take on one of these guys, assuming they're willing to take on him, who are right there in that top 10 cusp.
yeah. Alim,
It's
yeah.
he gave Tyson Fury a run, so he has potential for sure.
Oh yeah, Walin. I thought you said Alim. It's Walin. Yeah, that's
Oh no,
right.
Wiley
the Swede.
or
Yeah, that's right.
Valine,
All right.
Valine
Yeah,
or Valine.
he's really proven himself as a really like quality fighter. Yeah,
So he may not have fought in a while because this was an 8 rounder. So it looked like it was just meant to get him sort of back, in the mix at least.
yeah. Otto
I
Walin.
did,
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't watch that. I see that it's Sky Sports. I was looking for it, but then I saw that it was a pay per view, which
Oh
in some
yeah,
cases I'll get them, but I just didn't think this was pay per view worthy.
he beat
Uh,
Kamil Sokolovsky, who is yeah, lower class fighter, how you call it,
oh, okay.
a journeyman from Poland. Like,
So I think this was just to get his feet back wet
yeah,
here for 2022 or whatever, and we'll see. Because I feel like his name has probably had to be it probably has to be out there with sort of those top guys that are out there
yeah,
at heavyweight who may need
uh,
a real sort of partner in crime to
yeah,
step in with him. Yeah. And another one I have to watch at least, and I mentioned this to you, I think yesterday or the day before, is Keith Thurman versus Barrios,
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Mario Barrios. Yes, and I heard from all indications, everyone was saying that Keith Thurman looked pretty good given the time out of the
Yeah,
ring. And
yeah, that
Barrios,
was
of course, is a decent opponent. You know, not a
mm,
world beater or whatever. He's a guy with
tall
potential or
guy.
whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah,
tall for that division.
yeah. So I guess Thurman, yeah, he's cut his hair off and everything. I heard someone mentioning his hair.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Doug Fisher because they both had long hair.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
and
think Thurman just needs to change his attitude. Like, he's always talking about money. I want that kind of money to fight somebody. Like Spence or
yeah,
Crawford. Like, you know, I think I would say to him, "Oh, you should be so lucky if they, gave you a fight. Right now."
yeah, it's funny how it ends up being that way. You start out willing to take on and fight anyone, and then it becomes about the money, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
becomes the
why he
main
was
thing.
inactive for 2 years, so 2.5. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's why fans have been getting at him as well because he's always been vocal and he did a complete 360 of what he used to preach.
yeah, and he was like blaming Bob Arum, like, oh, he didn't
Mhm.
help him enough, and I don't like that. Just blame it on yourself, and it's
Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, and then Louis Neary, he won. He beat Castro. I couldn't think of his first name,
oh
but I
yeah,
know I've seen him before. Pretty
Mary,
decent.
yeah, that's right. He made a comeback. Hmm.
Leo Santa Maria beat Ramos. I've seen them fight
Yeah, and that
before.
guy Carlos Quadras, he lost also.
Oh yeah, I still need to watch. I watched the entire card. I just haven't seen that fight.
He
So I'm gonna
seems
go
to
back and watch. But
be
I knew Bam
uh,
Rodriguez got it.
Jesse Rodriguez Franco. Yeah, that's right. It
Yeah,
seems,
he's pretty good. He's
yeah,
got
he
good footwork, good
definitely.
movement.
He also put Quadras down once.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
I need to check that one out because I did watch the rest of that card. I saw, and then I guess in the one before that, Leo Santa Cruz. I guess he had a comeback fight at
mm.
featherweight, won a
It
decision
seems
over Catterall.
Quadras is now pretty much shot because he had that fight with Juan Francisco Estrada. Before that he was stopped in 11 rounds. So that can
Yeah, those
damage
smaller
him.
fighters are usually in a lot of wars too, and he has
Yeah,
been in a lot of them actually.
yeah, that's true. They take a lot of damage, and a lot of those fights last quite long, and you get a lot of late
Yeah,
stoppages there in those fights, so that's not so
yeah,
good, healthy.
yeah, yeah. That makes it tough. But
Yeah,
yeah, that looks like the bulk of the stuff that went down. Robinson Cancial, who I think is okay. He's an okay fighter. Well, I guess a little bit better than okay.
oh, yeah,
He had one not too long ago.
Conceição, yeah,
I just don't view him as like a top dog at 130 or whatever.
yeah,
But he's up there in the mix from a fighting perspective and has the amateur background, I guess, to
oh
sort of
yeah,
hold weight as far as being mentioned amongst them. But yeah, we'll see
yeah.
what he does from here.
I don't really know much about him. I must admit.
Yeah, he won, I believe, gold medal at the Rio Olympics, and he's Brazilian.
Oh,
And he signed with Top Rank, and he's pretty decent. He's a solid all around fighter.
hmm,
Nothing from my perspective is glaringly great or overachieving for him. I think he's just a solid all around fighter. And he fought Oscar Valdez
oh
in a
yeah,
fight prior to this, and it was a close fight. He feels he won. I think that it was. I don't feel like he won. He feels definitive that he won, and I think a lot of other people probably might feel the same way that he it wasn't a definitive win for him. I think that he didn't do enough there in the end to
Mm,
try and take the title from Valdez. But this was when Valdez had that little, well, not little, but had that situation where he popped on one of those tests, A
yeah,
sample or something for something, some kind of dietary thing, but it ended up the WBC did something to where
yeah.
they didn't view it as a uh, negative test. I forget exactly what the terminology was they used, but it was an interesting situation, I would say.
And when you mentioned that, I was just maybe 3 or 4 nights ago. Jamel Herring was having a live in chat and Instagram,
Oh
so I
yeah,
was kind of mentioning that stuff with Valdez, and he was like, "Oh no, leave him alone. It's not like." He was like, That's not so unusual. Let's fire fails a test." I think that's what he said. I know he was
oh
very
yeah.
nice, but he was like very protective of Valdez. So
I don't know. Yeah, that
yeah,
is funny. But they're both top ranked, so maybe.
yeah, maybe there's something there. And he said he was gonna fight at 135 now, I believe. Herring.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough sledding up there for sure.
yeah. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight
At
there."
least at the top
It's
end.
like he almost said, "I'm not expecting that much, success." So, but
Yeah, 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 okay.
he's
So, but yeah, he has he's tall and long, but
yeah,
the top end there is tougher than that top end at 130.
yeah, definitely.
So it's gonna be some tough sledding, but
Got some,
maybe some of the extra weight
yeah,
helps him feel a little bit better when he's in there.
yeah. You got some big punchers, like Ryan Garcia and that
Yeah,
guy.
who I want to see
The,
back in. He's let pretty much all his momentum die out, but
yeah,
now to the point where I wonder. I feel like after that Campbell win, I was like, this guy's the real deal. I want to see him jump right back in there, but now there's just a question mark in terms of what he's going to look like when he does eventually come back.
yeah. No, there's a really exciting vision, but yeah, I think he should really focus more on boxing and less on his social medias and
I was going to say, now I know he really does have a lot of other outside
yeah,
interests that are likely paying him just as much, if not more, than what he's getting so far
he's
boxing.
he's the glamour boy. He's
Yeah,
full of it's obvious.
Fashion Nova,
Yeah,
Fashion
the
Nova
PR
Ryan.
means a lot to him, definitely. Yeah, he
Yeah,
just loves attention, and yeah, of course.
yeah. He's been throwing his name out there, saying
Yeah,
that he'll
King
fight and
Ryan.
hit this person.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But there's some good fights coming up that
yeah,
we have on tap worth mentioning. Of course, Dillian White
oh yeah,
versus Tyson Fury being the big um, heavyweight fight that is going to take place. I think that it's going to be a bit more exciting
that's
than
like
some
in
people may make it out to be.
April maybe I think. Yeah,
Yep, April, and it's going to be in Wembley, I believe. I think it's going to be a
that's good.
crazy amount of people there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Many
mean,
thousands.
both have their quite a big fan base in UK, especially Fury, but also White has some of his
Yeah, yeah.
partisans. So
And I think it's a very interesting matchup, just given White's
very.
style and how Fury does. And
Hmm.
then even, you know, I think the press conferences might be interesting too.
Yeah, we haven't seen Fury fight somebody who is like not really tall or for fighter like Wilder was, and
Yeah, like a big, complete different style
yeah,
right there. So Fury's gonna have to adjust for something like that because, or he did fight some. Did he fight anyone in between those three Wilder fights, or
he did
maybe
fight.
Valley or
Yeah,
this other guy? I do
Wallin
remember him beating this
after,
other
yeah,
guy.
the first fight, yeah, first Wilder fight, he fought Wallin.
Okay, so yeah, so he
And
training for White's gonna be a little bit different.
yeah, and I think that guy Tom Schwartz also. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, he stopped him. That was a soft touch for him
Yeah,
right there.
that was just an easy fight. Yeah, very.
Schwartz, yeah, he wasn't aggressive, and I felt like he just kind of took his beating.
Yeah, it was just made for Fury to look good. That whole fight, it's obvious.
Yeah, I think that was his first one in the U.S. right there,
Yeah,
or Vegas or something like that. That might have been because
yeah.
he
I
had the
think
little Apollo
Vegas he
Creed
was
stuff and
all
all that.
dressed up like Apollo Creed,
Yeah,
and really enjoying all the publicity. Yeah,
yeah,
another guy who loves publicity.
yeah. He definitely does.
Oh, I'm the Gypsy King. Yeah, all you big
You
tosses.
dosa,
Yeah,
you bum, you
yeah.
bum.
You're a shithouse, mate.
uh,
But he's a good guy. I mean, for what it's worth, he's a yeah
oh yeah, he's good.
top.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, Deontay Wilder should have showed him some love after that loss.
Yeah, definitely. I
The
think.
better man won, but they
Yeah,
made for it with a good fight. The third fight was the best of all of them, which is crazy, right?
yeah, it was because that was the best that Wilder could do against Fury. So that's important that people saw that. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't about
yeah,
Wilder being in a bad. I mean, the first time he lost, it was just that he didn't. Well, I don't know. He didn't give. He hadn't lost yet officially, so he didn't have the
yeah.
same motivation to really give everything that he had, So he,
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, it's yeah, interesting. You'll see what's out there on that heavyweight landscape after this. And I know Joshua seems to be training. I don't know who his trainer is, but I saw that he's training, getting ready for Usyk, um,
yeah,
which should be interesting as well.
yeah, I think so too. But I'm not really that optimistic about Joshua being able to win this
Yeah,
time either because he simply doesn't. I don't think you can learn at this point, especially you can teach him to fight that much differently. I mean, you saw that he can do like he did against Ruiz in the second fight. He just boxed
hmm
and ran around, and but that's not gonna do it against Usyk, because
yeah.
this guy is
I
not
think
like 260 pounds and obese.
no, yeah, correct,
So
without a doubt.
he's not gonna just stand there do nothing.
Different animal here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to Joshua's mentality. Because I think he is what he is as far as his overall tool set, but it's going to be his mentality. I haven't seen him in a situation where he's desperate enough to get a win. I would say he's going to need to show what he showed when he fought Klitschko.
yeah,
If he shows some of that, then I think that makes it interesting. But he's not going to come out if he comes out there trying to safely box his way to a win, then that's gonna spell trouble for him. And you're right,
yeah,
he's not gonna get the W. So he's gonna have to come out there and be aggressive. I know he's a good guy, he's a nice guy, but he's gonna have to show a mean streak or something
yeah,
because that's the only way he's gonna be able to get in the Usyk's head in some sense. He's gonna have to hit him, hurt him, and
yeah.
show that hey, I'm the bigger, stronger guy here. You know.
Yeah, he has to assert himself and like really push Usyk, and that's not what he did last time. Uh, he seemed to be just looking for a way to land that big punch to knock him out. That's not gonna do the trick against
Nah.
a guy like Usyk, who is such a good defensive fighter and so tough also. But I was just looking at Ruiz's weight in the second Joshua fight. Holy crap! It was 283.5 pounds. Shit.
Holy crap! Yeah, he didn't train worth for dang.
No,
That's
they,
crazy. He's bigger than freaking Fury.
yeah, and he's like some say he's not even 6'2" for real. Like I remember one.
Yeah, yeah, he might not be. You know, he doesn't
Yeah,
look like he's a solid 6'2". That's
no.
283. That's a shame.
Wow.
After his biggest fight of his
Yeah.
life, he comes in that kind of shape.
Yeah, I really don't
Mhm.
know how he will his career will unfold, and he had that rather unimpressive win over Chris Ariola, also. So
Yeah, and that's
so
under Eddie Reynoso. I saw that Ryan Garcia left Eddie Reynoso.
well, yeah, it's just not the way to to train a really young and promising fighter.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I have question marks. I have even more question marks after that fight with Areola, just given how he looked.
Hmm.
So so it'll be interesting to see. And maybe it is what it is. What is he? Because he's closer to 30 now. Maybe the notion of him actually getting in shape and all that stuff, making that change. Maybe that is just sort of a lost hope in some sense.
Yeah,
Maybe he is gonna be what he's gonna be.
yeah, definitely, that's true.
If the potential of what would have been the case had he defeated Joshua that second time
Yeah,
in Dubai couldn't motivate him enough, then what will?
yeah, that's a good question. I think
Yeah, he got a
it's
taste for what the top felt like and then
yeah,
fell from it.
it's a shame. Yeah, really. I mean, I don't know what went through his mind. And they were saying, he's lost some weight, and then he comes in at his highest weight ever. Or maybe he had lost
Yeah.
weight, but then he got so hungry that he put it all back and gained more. That's what can happen.
Yeah.
I know with with
Yeah. They were saying that
all.
same thing about his prior to the Areola fight, how he's been in the gym, he's gotten in better shape.
Yeah, yeah. He
And maybe he
also
did, but couldn't tell.
he weighed like, let's see, well, it was good, 256, one of his lowest weights. So
Okay, that's not bad. That's
yeah,
not bad then. For him, I guess that's not bad.
but
He doesn't have anything slated right now, huh?
yeah, funny thing is, Ariola, he weighed at only 228, and he's like a taller guy and the older guy. So that's really
Yeah,
funny.
hey, that's what he should have been doing when he was in his prime, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty good for him. Definitely, he did look better than he did, when he was on top of his game.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem with him. What what he really lacked was that shape, being in shape. Ariola, yeah, he
Hmm.
was also the guy who didn't seem to really enjoy training.
Yeah, yeah, because I think he was cruiserweight or something like that in the Olympics, or it was a
Yeah,
lower weight. I remember, or not in the Olympics, but as an amateur, I can recall if he was in. I don't know if he was on the Olympic team or
yeah, I
whatever,
know what he said once. He said, "I'm a heavyweight thanks to the tacos and burritos and stuff like that."
but
Maybe
well, that can.
burrito supreme, right? That's what it's the big one is called in
Yeah, I'd
Taco
imagine
Bell.
that can certainly get you there.
Yeah,
That's my thought. Definitely get you there.
yeah. Ask Riddick Bowl, Daddy, Big Daddy
Yeah,
Bowl.
Riddick freaking Bowe. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's another one definitely that left some things on the table.
yeah. I remember he came here, to Oslo in '96. Yeah, right before the
Okay.
Golota fight. So, and then they were like filming him for TV, and he was like sitting in McDonald's eating
Oh
away.
yeah.
That was funny.
freaking freaking Riddick.
Yeah,
That is funny.
I really love watching him. really one of my favorite heavyweights from the '90s, definitely. So that
Oh yeah,
was,
he was big and athletic, you know.
yeah, had the stamina, had the chin unit, had the power and pretty much everything except for being very like fast or whatever. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
in good shape.
I remember. I remember playing. I used to play his. Me and my cousin Boss. We used to play his video game. He had this
Oh
Rick
yeah,
Bow knockout
that's
or something like that. It was some video game, but it was pretty cool. I remember playing that all the time.
yeah.
Back when he, when he was on his game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like '99, so saw that game. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think it was on like a Sega or one of those Super
Sega. Yeah,
Nintendos or something like that.
yeah.
It was one of those. But yeah, it was pretty good
Those were the
for the
days.
time. Definitely. Um, but yeah, that's so yeah, I know we've gone at it 1 hour 50 minutes and
Yeah,
counting. 1 hour 50 minutes and counting, but a lot of good stuff. I guess we could mention there are some other pretty good ones coming up fight wise. Chris Bork, Mark Leach. Chris Bork, he's the fighter out of the UK. He's pretty good. I've seen him. I think stylistically, he's pretty solid, and that's worth a mention. Regis Prograis is going to
oh
be back
yeah.
in action on the 19th of March against Tyrone McKenna. Don't know
McKenna.
if I
Yeah.
know McKenna. Don't know if I know him. And then on that same night, maybe the same card, Jermell Charlo's taking on Brian Castano in a rematch there of
Hmm.
their fight, which turned out to be a pretty decent fight
That's
last time
the
around.
that's the one
That
to
I
watch. Yeah,
and I think Benny felt Castano deserved the nod in that fight. So we'll
yeah.
see how
It was very
uh,
close. Hmm.
now each of them bounces back.
Yeah, I'm
So
really
Shaki Foster,
yeah.
pretty good.
I really
But
wonder
yeah,
if Jermel will be able to. I mean, if he's really learned from that fight, and now if he will be able to like improve on what his last performance in the last fight. I mean,
hmm
or not. So it can go both ways. Yeah, but
he turned out tougher than he thought. But
yeah,
I will give him credit. He hurt Cassano a couple of times, but he just wasn't able to capitalize on it.
yeah. As I said, he Castaño is Argentinian. They are really tough fighters. Like usually,
hmm
and athletic, and I would say also, yeah, pretty like dangerous.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, that's a good one. Um, Miguel Burchelt's going to be back in action on Saturday, the 26th of March.
Oh,
We'll see how he looks.
the
And then on
Scorpion.
that same
Hmm.
day,
Yeah,
Kiko Martinez, Josh Warrington. I believe it's in Leeds.
nice.
So
Yeah,
Kiko's going to need to knock him out.
I actually forgot that they already have, or have they fought? Or yeah, that's right, they had
Yeah, they fought before.
2017. Well, that's a while ago now.
Yeah, it is.
Josh
Then
Warrington. Yeah.
Lee Selby's going to take on Gustavo Lemos. It must be on that
All
card.
right,
And see,
three.
Felix Sturm is even fighting. Wow,
Yeah.
Felix,
I don't know what he's doing. He's 43 years old, so
and of course it's in Germany.
yeah, just I think for the money. Yeah, I know he had some problems, and was he recently in jail or something like that, or he
Oh
should
wow, well, I didn't know that.
say, yeah, something about like tax evasion or something. I don't know. It was something financial stuff. Yeah,
No, no, Felix, what the heck?
yeah.
He's actually had 4 fights outside of Germany. I
Mm,
didn't know it was that many.
yeah.
So yeah, so he's back in action. He's 43 now, which is crazy
Mm. Also,
considering that
the
he
guy.
fought De La Hoya in
Oh yeah,
the last the decade before this last decade, right?
2004. Yeah,
Wow, yeah, crazy.
yeah. That's even, of course, longer now. Oh,
Yeah.
I see the guy who beat Liam Smith, Curbano. He's also fighting in March 26th against Patrick Tichira, how do you call it?
Oh,
Mago-
Teixeira, yeah, yeah. He's
Magomed.
a tough,
Yeah,
solid fighter.
yeah.
When you said this, you said what was that guy's name?
Magomed Kurbanov. Kurbanov.
I don't know. Let me see. Look at Patrick
So he
Teixeira.
beat Liam Smith in, yeah, last year, not so long ago. Me.
Mm. Teixeira, he lost to someone, but I know he beat this Adamus guy. I think he had picked up a title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he lost to Castano. Well, okay.
He's from Brazil. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I see Carbano. Have I seen him? I don't know if I've seen him. I don't think I saw that fight with Liam Smith actually.
Yeah, it's Castano has just had a little bit bad luck. He also was had a draw against Lara, and I know many thought that he should
Oh
have won
yeah,
that fight. And
yeah, that is the case. That
yeah,
sucks. You're right. I had forgotten about that.
yeah, it's pretty hard when you are a fighter like from far away, fighting. Yeah,
Yeah, they bring you in on the sort of shows as the term that people use, B side or whatever.
yeah,
When you actually pull it off,
yeah. It's
then you
like
get the Jack Catterall treatment.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, you can't have the win. Sorry. It wasn't in the books, in our plans. Just that's what really pisses me off sometimes. It's
Well, it's unfortunate. It's freaking unfortunate. These athletic commissions are annoying as well for putting these same individuals with these crazy scores and stuff
yeah,
back in action, like nothing ever happened. Like they
exactly.
deserve a good bit of the blame, but of course, to
Yeah,
them, the incentive for them is having the most popular fighter be the fighter headlining shows in your locale.
yeah. Well, I hate the most when the commentators mention that something like that, and they just say, "Oh, he beat that guy," but they don't say, "Oh, it was a controversial decision" or something. They just sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even say
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, that is true. They are like that at times. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate. But good old boxing still
yeah.
getting in its own way. But
And that
cool, man.
yeah, that syndrome when you mention, that happened when I was watching that podcast by Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. That was like
Okay.
maybe 2019, yeah, probably. And I mentioned that
Okay.
there had been a few, really bad decisions lately in America, and I was like,
Hmm.
talking about it, and what James said, of course, first thing, oh no, well, you should like see what happens in Germany. That's always, everybody mentions Germany when you bring up that in either
Yeah.
US or UK, they just immediately like self defense system.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's pretty wrong.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It shouldn't be that way. Like, come on, man. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I mean Germany actually I think improved in that way in the last 10 years or something. Yeah,
Yeah. There's still some bad ones, yeah, just all over the place.
yeah, they
It's not
they
just the US, the UK as well.
they were famous. I mean, they were rightfully famous before for a bad decision. That's right, hometown. But now that's pretty much yeah, happening everywhere almost.
Yeah, that one fighter Vasquez, yeah, he got robbed in I believe it was Newcastle against Louis Ritson
Oh yeah,
a couple of fights back. It was
think I've seen
shameful
that. Yeah,
robbery.
I've seen that fight. Yeah, that's right.
It was shameful.
Yeah,
One of the that was one of the one where one of the judges he looked like he was on his phone, not even paying attention,
yeah,
and some people tweeted that stuff out to like Eddie Hearn and all of that stuff, and
embarrassing.
I don't know what happened to him,
It's like
but it was
they say,
embarrassing.
yeah, he filled his scorecards, his scorecard before the fight began.
Yeah, it is a trip. But yeah, that is a problem, and I can say on the amateur side, sometimes some of the judges, I just don't see what some of these judges see, and it's just
Yeah,
insane.
no, I
It's
think, yeah,
insane.
I agree absolutely. They are either just, I don't know, paid off to score for somebody, or they sometimes they really their judgment or their sight is crap, So
Hmm.
or they are biased also. They might be biased sometimes towards certain fighters.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have that. You
So
have that happen at a time for sure.
it's like that, thinking if he does anything in this round, anything good, you give him this round. So that's how it goes. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter if he gets hit like 20 times.
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's
Yeah,
just yeah, that's one of those things that you just
yeah,
can't do anything but like wonder what the heck can be done.
yeah. It needs to be fixed, but I don't think it will, and not soon anyway.
Because it's going to take too many parties to come to a single agreement in terms
Yeah,
of with the promoters and all that stuff. Every group wants their advantage, uh, and then even if it's that, even it'll be like state by state because each athletic commission, pretty much controls their own destiny in some sense.
yeah,
Just thinking about it from in the U.S. or whatever, but I imagine overseas as well. It just depends on the jurisdiction.
yeah. I mean, you always had this, but not as much. I think you had this in 20s and 30s, like bad decisions, or maybe the referee would disqualify a guy for nothing. Like that happened also
Oh
before.
yeah.
But it was not
Hmm.
so common, I think, as now. I mean, bad decisions and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. Well, even when I'm looking back in some of this stuff from history, like the early days, there was a lot of corruption and stuff
Yeah,
that was a little bit more blatant, even so than now.
yeah, definitely.
Pretty
There
crazy.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I was just doing some, just researching some stuff because I'm working on this video. But yeah,
Mm.
on Terry McGovern.
Oh,
He fought Joe Gans back in I think it was like 1900 or 1901, one of the two, or 18. No, no, it was 1900 actually. And it's on film, and it was a fight that was essentially fixed.
oh, yeah, that Terry McGovern, yeah, he was like that featherweight or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
world
He could
champion.
punch and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, he could punch. He was pretty good. The Joe Gans, he's regarded as the greatest lightweight or whatever. And in that fight, in that video, he wasn't throwing much, and he purposely, seemingly, just got knocked out.
yeah, yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, I know I've done some history thread on Corbett. Oh no, sorry, McGovern, not Corbett. I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
reading through his record, and I came across a fight with young Corbett the second, so that's why.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Young Corbett the second.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm working on that little video right now for the YouTube. I should hey,
good
I'll
one. Yeah,
have it up
you're
today.
doing your old timers, yeah, videos.
It's gone pretty well. I'm just trying to keep up with it now. Because some of these videos take a long time to do,
That's good.
just because of the
Yeah,
quality and stuff.
yeah. But it's good that some younger fans get to, like, see those older, to learn a little more about those very old. Is that a
Oh
dog
yeah.
or a cat? It's a cat, right?
Oh, it's a no, it's a dog. It's a
Oh,
dog. I know you could see it.
yeah, not so
It's an
clearly.
Airedale.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. How do you
Yeah,
call it?
Airedale Terrier.
That race, like
It's a
oh,
terrier.
terrier. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cute.
they're like a, UK dog. I think that's where they were initially originally bred over in the UK.
He's
she's
very,
uh
very like.
she's about to be 5 here next month,
All right.
which is well, I guess today actually is, or in terms of we're in the next month. Today is March 1st, right? Or is it 5? No, no, tomorrow's March 1st. So
Yeah, the
she
first.
was born in later in March, so she's going to be 5 years old here shortly.
Mm, nice.
So excited! But yeah,
Yeah,
all right, good to go, Slavin. This has been great. We've hit that 2 hour mark. That's
yeah.
a benchmark, I guess you can say. But it
Good.
was good to catch up.
Yeah,
So we'll have to do it again. It won't be as long in between, I'd imagine. So
yeah.
be in contact.
Hopefully.
And I gotta guess get her out of here to get her to
Yeah.
calm down. All right, man. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. All right.
Cool.